Introduction. Thank you for your purchase. My name is Pascal Mansell, and I am a business coach and the founder of Vanguard Global, LLC. In this masterclass material, our goal is to break down the various aspects of personal, business, and corporate credit. The information contained in this book is first-hand knowledge gained from our own experience in creating and building personal, business, and corporate credit for our clients and business associates. It is knowledge gained from individuals who we have learned from through purchased programs and paid coaching. Please be aware that some of the issues covered in this book may include speculative topics, statements, information, and procedures in an effort to provide you with as much information related to the subject matter at hand. My personal goal, as well as the goal of Vanguard Global, LLC, is to give you the best information possible. It is also our goal to outline a clear and simple path for you to follow in order to create the credit scenario you desire. Some of the sites we refer are affiliate sites and may pay us a commission if you choose to use their services. The information in this book is not to be construed as financial and/or legal advice. We are not attorneys at law, CPAs, or licensed financial advisors. You should consult with a qualified attorney, CPA, or financial advisor before taking any action on the information given in this material. We cannot guarantee what your results will be, or if you will have any results at all, if you apply this information. Credit Building Masterclass is primarily about one thing and one thing only: leverage. According to thedictionary.com, the term leverage is: noun, 1. The exertion of force by means of a lever or an object used in the manner of a lever. 2. The ratio of a company's loan capital, debt, to the value of its common stock, equity. Verb. 1. Use borrowed capital for an investment, expecting the profits made to be greater than the interest payable. 2. Use something to maximum advantage. Now that we have learned the dictionary definition of the word leverage, let me give you my thoughts on the word. When I read the first sentence, I automatically picture someone using a crowbar trying to get some leverage to open up a rusted metal door of some kind, or someone using a socket wrench to apply some leverage to loosen up a bolt. But if I shift my mindset just a little, I can envision a person using this newfound knowledge like a crowbar or a socket wrench as leverage to pull away from their thoughts that money is evil and debt is bad. Without money and debt, there would be no United States of America or any other viable country or commerce. The second sentence makes me think of how I was taught that you should avoid debt like the plague, all while the world's largest companies and wealthiest people and countries carry an estimated $255 trillion in global debt as of 2019, according to NASDAQ.com. I have come to understand that without debt, the richest and wealthiest among us would not have been able to manifest, then create, their riches and wealth. In the first sentence of the second section of the dictionary definition, the objective is to manifest, then create any type of business, knowing that your sole responsibility is to build a thriving enterprise by borrowing as much as you can, as often as you can, in order to create personal wealth. The last definition of leverage makes me think that it is all about using every asset that you can get your hands on to manifest and then create your chief objective. Personal credit repair and rebuilding. Leverage is something we all use to varying degrees, but rarely to its fullest potential. Pascal Mansell. Personal, business, and corporate credit are some of the best kinds of leverage a person can have. Any one of them separately can make you rich, but using the three of them together can potentially make you wealthy. So let's stop playing around and get to the good stuff. First and foremost, we will need to go over the basics in building personal credit because you, or someone else involved in your current or future business, will need to have a good FICO score in order to really get your business off the ground. If your score is really crappy, don't despair. You can clean and rebuild even the worst credit file in fairly short order if you follow several simple steps mentioned below. Think of your credit as three-dimensional, having height, depth, and width. This is what I call Pascal's 3D credit system. This is super important because of what Vanguard Global LLC has learned from the credit bureaus. The height represents your credit FICO score, with an ideal score of 720 or better across all three of the primary credit bureaus. The width represents the amount of credit you have showing. 7 or more lines of varying types of credit is fair, but 10 or more lines is good. Lastly, the depth represents the age of your oldest pieces of credit. The older your credit history with good payments, the better. This shows stability. Note that having a high credit score in and of itself means nothing. For example, someone once said to me, "Hey, Pascal, my credit score is 740 across all three bureaus, but I can't get anyone to fund me." When I looked at their credit file, I saw that they only had 4 items with very low limits and maybe a year's worth of history. So I explained to them that their credit shows as a thin file. There's not enough information for them to get a favorable decision, at least not for any large amounts of unsecured credit. I then explained that having bad credit can often be seen as better than having no credit or a thin file. Because with no credit or a thin file, there's nothing for the credit bureaus and credit grantors to gauge your interactions with credit. To get around having no credit or a thin file, I often suggest that people look into companies like My Jeweler's Club, who will give you a $5,000 line of credit regardless of what your credit looks like. There's a wealth of companies like My Jeweler's Club to help rebuild your personal credit file fairly quickly. And the best thing about them is that they are very cost-effective with a price point of $200. My Jeweler's Club will report to all 3 primary credit bureaus every month. The more credit grantors you have reporting on your credit file with higher credit limits, the stronger your credit file will look. And after you have seasoned your file by making on-time or advance payments, the easier it'll be for you to go after actual cash credit cards and loans with decent limits. Note, I will give you a list of websites for credit granting companies like myjewelersclub.com later on in this book. Another thing to work on when trying to establish and or build your personal credit file is being added as an authorized user to a family member or friend's personal credit cards. If you don't have a friend or family member who will add you as an authorized user, you can contact us at pascal@vanguardgloballlc.com with "I need UAs." That's 3 words, I need UAS, in the subject line, and we will connect you with a company that can help you add authorized user accounts to your personal credit profile file. The only reason I'm not listing out companies that provide authorized user services is because many of them start off great, but they become less desirable to deal with over time. We want to give you the best resources at the time you need them. Adding seasoned AU accounts to your credit file is the best and fastest way to build a credit file from scratch, or help in the process of repairing and building out your credit file. Once you are placed on a credit card as an authorized user, all of the history of that credit card will show up on your credit files that they report to. Being added as an authorized user can potentially push your credit score up anywhere from 5 to 100 points in as little as 30 to 90 days, depending on what's going on with your files currently. Consider the fact that being added to a credit card with late payments or 30% or higher usage will affect your credit file in a negative manner. If you have good credit but your debt-to-income (DTI) ratio is too high, it will be much harder for you to get credit. And if your personal credit cards are over the 30% usage mark, your credit score can suffer as well. Either scenario will lower your overall credit score quite rapidly, so keep this in mind. As the saying goes, Credit scores go down like a large boulder rolling down a hill, but goes up like someone trying to push a large boulder up a hill. Now is the time to take a deep dive into building your personal credit, regardless of whether your current situation is good, bad, or indifferent. Start treating your credit as a business with the goal of making timely payments and acquiring more credit with higher credit limits and better terms. In order to properly build this new personal credit business of yours, it needs to have structure and look like any other business that is looking for investors. So, let's start at square one. Showing up. Similar to other businesses, you need to show up and be found by credit grantors when they are checking your validity. Lenders, like investors, want to know if they can get a hold of you if something goes wrong. Give them that extra level of comfort. It may make the difference between receiving and not receiving credit from lenders. Make sure you show up in the public directories. You can use websites like listyourself.net, which is a public directories aggregator. This means you can place your information inside their portal, and the system will list you out to most 411 directories. However, to be on the safe side, you should add your information to superpages.com and yellowpages.com. Another important thing to do is opt out of receiving unsolicited credit offers from the high-interest rate credit vampires by signing up at optoutprescreen.com, an Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion service. Although opting out is said not to improve your credit score or rating according to the credit bureaus, we have seen quite the opposite. I have personally seen people's credit scores go up by various amounts. Admittedly, it could be coincidental, but I think opting out works. I also want to mention that there is a need for the high-interest rate credit vampires, but it is better to use them when you're ready and in the most strategic way possible. Before we move on, I really want to stress the importance of being seen by the credit bureaus and credit grantors so they can know you're a living, breathing human being out in the world taking care of business. In order to accomplish this, sign up for as many rewards and loyalty cards as you can. For example, grocery store rewards, pharmacy rewards, etc. Also, sign up for social media sites, major email accounts like Yahoo and Gmail, and free magazine subscriptions to help solidify who you are and build your overall profile. Modern capitalist. Living in any so-called modern capitalist society, you and your information are the greatest commodity on the market. Your information is bought and sold multiple times every day. So don't be foolish enough to think that Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, or any other social media platforms or email services you're on isn't spending billions of dollars to provide you with a space to share your last meal or your most recent vacation with your friends. That said, it's important to understand that you are being used. Therefore, you need to start using the users to create your own financial freedom. Sexy credit and trade lines. If you have good credit, this chapter isn't necessarily for you, but it can't hurt to read. I'm going to give you one of the greatest gifts of knowledge I can. If you're serious about repairing and rebuilding your credit, I recommend the book Good Credit is Sexy by Christy Welch. I believe it to be the best and most informative book written on credit repair. It has given me the tools necessary to help a ton of people clear their credit of everything from inquiries to bankruptcy. Get Good Credit is Sexy if you're looking for an inexpensive way to repair your personal credit. You can not only buy the book, but you can buy Christy Welch's entire program, which includes some of the best credit repair letters available on the market, in my opinion. The link to purchase Good Credit is Sexy and Christy Welch's entire program for about $29.95 is http://bookstore.creditinfocenter.com/credit-infocenter-book-collection/. In full disclosure, I don't know the author of the material or the people who run the website. I found this book and information about 20 years ago, and once I saw how well it worked, I continued to buy it every time it was updated. Also, know that I don't get a penny for referring you. I wish I did, but I don't. Here's what you'll get when you buy Good Credit is Sexy and the program. 1. The book, Good Credit is Sexy, of course. 2. The complete guide to financial freedom and bonus workbook. 3. Step-by-step instructions on fixing your credit and dealing with creditors. 4. Information on what to do if you're sued by a creditor. 5. Information on how to settle your debts for pennies on the dollar. 6. Information on how to sue your creditors. 7. Information on your credit and the mortgage approval process. 8. Information on applying and qualifying for an auto loan. 9. 95 sample letters and templates to use when fixing your credit. Honestly, the price tag should be at minimum $1,997 for this information because it has allowed me to personally generate and keep tens of thousands of dollars. As mentioned in the first chapter, here is a list of companies to use for brand new primary trade lines. They can help expand, build, or rebuild your credit files. Please do your due diligence before opening up an account with the vendors below or any others offered in this material. Number 1. Selflender.com. Number 2. MyJewelryClub.com. Number 3. Fingerhut.com. Number 4. CrownJewelers.com. Number 5. HuttonChase.com. Number 6. VitalCard.com. Number 7. OxPublishing.com. Number 8. RentReporters.com. Number 9. RentalKarma.com, and karma in this case is spelled KHARMA.com. Number 10. CreditBuilderCard.com. You should only add these trade lines as you can afford them. My top choices are MyJewelersClub.com and RentalKarma.com. A personal checking account can also help build your personal credit because it, too, helps solidify that you are a living, breathing human being out in the world taking care of your business. For some of you, opening a personal checking account may be problematic because of poor past decisions with regards to bank accounts. If this is you, don't fret. There are a few possible remedies you can try. For example, research second chance bank accounts like that of Wells Fargo. A simple online search for banks that have second chance banking, or banks that don't run checks systems, in this case that's CHEXSYSTEMS, will get you started. Credit War Games. Want more ammunition to play the credit game with the bureaus and credit grantors so you can start winning? Of course you do. Whether you know it or not, once you became of legal age and started making yourself known in the world by applying for credit or creating any type of public record, a credit profile was created on your behalf. Once these files are created, they become a non-stop vacuum drawing in as much information as they can gather about you. And, contrary to popular belief, your information is not only being gathered by the 3 most well-known credit bureaus, in example, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, your information is also being gathered by places you've probably never heard of, like CoreLogic, Innovis, LexisNexis, and so on. My suggestion is to take some time to get your annual free credit report from all of the other credit bureaus to see what they are saying about you. If necessary, the credit report will help dispute any inaccurate information. There are so many credit bureaus and information brokers that are buying and selling your information and, unfortunately, reporting it inaccurately. That said, contact them. Ask them to freeze your account, which will cut them off from being able to share and make money from your information. However, I do not recommend that you freeze Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, LexisNexis, SafeScan, CoreLogic, or Innovis while you are in the credit building process. If they are not accessible when the credit grantors want information on you, they will most likely deny your request for credit. But there are a host of less important credit bureaus and information brokers that you can freeze in order to keep them from giving out wrong information. I found an article on vice.com, that's vice.com, that you can visit and use their list to freeze the non-essential credit bureaus and information brokers. Go to vice.com, VICE, and look at their motherboard column and search for "Here's a long list of data broker sites and how to opt out of them." Sign up for Experian Credit Monitoring Service if possible. Going through the process of building and/or repairing your credit profile, you will need to have a way of continually monitoring your credit profiles. I am sold on this service because they offer Experian Boost, which is a service that allows you to get credit for paying your bills, for example, cell phone, internet, gas, etc., on time. But if you're not ready for an approximate $30 per month commitment to Experian, you should visit www.annualcreditreport.com and get your free annual credit report from all three bureaus. As for your overall credit score, it's easy to have a basic understanding of what your score is based on. For instance, your score is based on a statistical calculation that creditors use to evaluate creditworthiness. Your past and current credit history, public records, and overall stability all play a role in the type of credit score you're given. Your score can range from as low as 300 to as high as 850. Dispute, remove, and build. Using the information in Good Credit is Sexy, you should be able to remove almost everything that shows up incorrectly across the three major credit bureaus, which should be your primary focus at the building stage. Even before you start the process of disputing negative items on your credit file, you should dispute and remove any name misspellings, or AKAs, also known as. Dispute and remove any addresses that aren't yours or extremely old addresses that may be from a time in your life when you incurred a lot of inaccurate negative credit information on your file. Removing the incorrect spellings of your name and incorrect addresses should be done even if you have a pristine credit file to make it more difficult for someone to steal your identity, thus ruining your credit file. The easiest thing to dispute and remove on your credit file is anything negative over 7 years old. The same goes for inquiries that are more than 2 years old. We recommend you work on this first, because it will set the stage for getting the harder-to-remove items from your credit files. For instance, if an old creditor that placed a negative item on your credit file used an old address to link you to that debt, but you've since removed that address and disputed that debt, there's a better chance that the negative item will be removed because there's less connecting you to the debt. The same thing goes for old inquiries and names. If you can start eliminating some of the possible connections between you and a debt, it's easier to get it removed. There is a caveat to removing the oldest negative item from your credit file. If a negative item is close to its 7th year of reporting on your credit file, just leave it alone until it has passed its initial recording date of 7 years earlier by at least a few months to see if the credit bureaus automatically removed it, as they are supposed to under the FCRA guidelines. If you dispute an item that's close to its 7th year of reporting, and the credit grantor decides to challenge your dispute and are able to prove their case with the credit bureaus, that item would be updated and the 7-year reporting period would start all over again, thus affecting your credit score for another 7 years. This will make it more challenging to remove the item down the road. Credit knowledge is key. Credit repair really isn't anything like most people imagine it to be. It is crazy simple to do if you know some basic rules. Most people don't even know that their state has laws to protect them against shady creditors. Also, if a creditor violates various laws set in place by the FTC under the FCRA, you can sue the creditor and get paid. Did you know that you can even sue a collection agency for trying to collect the debt from you if they are not licensed to do so in your state? Amongst a host of other violations they seem to willfully commit regularly, you can find said violations under the laws of the FDCPA. If you're being harassed and collection agencies are breaking the law, sue. Credit expansion. Having a great credit file is fantastic and can change your life, as we have mentioned over and over again in at least 10 different ways. Now, we need to create an understanding of how to make it work for us. Future casting is another important thing to consider in the process of building and expanding your credit file. Let me break it down for you. Let's say that you make $60,000 a year and you're filling out a credit application. It's January 1st, so you put $60,000 down on the credit application as your yearly income, which is actually not true. Think about it. If it's January 1st or any other date other than December 31st, and you put down any figure other than what you've actually made up to that day and date, you're just guessing that everything will be as it was. You're guessing you will earn the same amount that you did last year. The facts are, you haven't actually made $60,000 for the year until you've earned your last check or earned your last dollar for the year. Anything can happen. You may lose your job, the company you work for could close down, or your business could slow or even shut down. There are different scenarios that could keep you from earning what you earned the previous year. Start future casting to your advantage by assuming that your income will be greater than what it is currently or has been in the past. Start increasing your projected income goals onto your credit application by whatever percentage you feel comfortable with. Some people boost their income by 20% to 40%, and the daring entrepreneur may even boost his or her income by 60%. Instead of earning $60,000 a year, let's say you start expanding your credit file by assuming, future casting, that you're going to earn $97,000, $123,000, or whatever salary projection you feel comfortable with. Let's assume that when you place these higher income figures on your applications, the credit grantors will assume that you're a better credit risk because you earn a greater amount of income. They will assume your debt-to-income ratio has lowered because you now earn more money, which means you have an expanded credit file allowing you to not only take on more credit, but credit with higher limits as well. Get it? Future casting is super important for your potential financial growth. Being able to borrow money is power, and if you understand the game of credit and finance, you can do almost anything you want in the financial world. Under this concept of expanding your credit, start thinking of expanding your overall credit-building opportunities. One way is to find a few family members, friends, or credit investors to join you in building their credit, and then taking that credit and investing into your business venture. Think about how much more powerful your financial positioning could be if you created your own team of investors. For instance, if you were able to raise $250,000 over the course of a year or less, and you had 3 partners who could do the same under your guidance, that would be a cool $1 million in investment capital that you could use to build your business. And why stop there? The truth is that you could bring in as many credit investors as you want, and, honestly, each of you could raise far more than $250,000 in a year. Personal, business, corporate, and bank credit. Although I've spent time talking about individuals who need to repair and rebuild their credit, please know that you can raise as much personal, business, and/or corporate credit as you desire, assuming you have a corporation or LLC, if you don't have any credit repair issues. You can also raise these 3 types of credit if you or your credit partners are working with 700-plus credit scores. I have coached many clients who started off with good credit scores and have been able to raise a quick $20,000 to $100,000 in one day by applying for credit the right way. One client in particular was able to get a $40,000 Chase Inc. business credit card in his first round of applications. Another client was able to get $66,000 across several different credit cards within an hour of sitting at his computer and applying for credit. Both clients future casted or assumed what their personal and business income would be over the current and coming year. Neither of these results are a product of magic. It's all about learning very simple concepts and applying them. Once you gain a full understanding, you will be able to create more credit almost at will. Business credit. Business credit is a credit that is granted to your business while you or someone else involved in the business is a guarantor. Simply put, someone will have to put their personal credit on the line in order to get credit for their business. As a rule of thumb, business credit does not report to your personal credit file unless you let it go bad. However, it should report to Experian Business, Equifax Business, and in some instances, Dun & Bradstreet. After you've properly established your business credit, you should potentially be able to get business loans and business credit cards without a personal guarantor. Note, the Capital One Spark Business Credit Card is unusual as it does report to your personal credit file. Personal credit. Personal credit is credit that is given to a person primarily when a credit application of some kind is submitted to a credit grantor. The credit grantor will most often pull your credit from one, two, or all three of the major credit bureaus. In some cases, if you are applying for real estate or some other special type of credit approval, there are other credit bureaus that may be pulled. Once your credit is pulled by the credit grantor, they will determine if your credit meets their criteria for approval or not. If they approve you, then in most cases, your payment history will be reported to one or all three of the primary credit bureaus. Corporate credit. Corporate credit is credit that is based purely on the good standing of your business and your business credit file. It does not require a personal guarantor and can be granted to most any type of business structure, for example, sole proprietor, LLC, LLP, etc. Corporate credit typically reports to Dun & Bradstreet, but it can also report to Experian Business and Equifax Business. In the beginning, most corporate credit is trade credit or credit that is granted to your business from another business that can only be used with that issuing business. But once you've established a well-seasoned business and corporate credit file, you can then go after unsecured credit cards and loans. Business to corporate. Now that we've made the distinction between the three primary types of available credit, let's dive into business lines of credit, business credit cards, and business loans. I love business lines of credit because it's like having ghost credit, credit that does not report anything outside of inquiries to your personal credit file, thus not affecting your personal credit. When your credit is viewed by personal credit grantors, they won't be able to see all of the business credit you've obtained. Here's an example of using your personal credit to build out your business instead of using business credit. Let's say your business is in need of a capital infusion in order to grow, so you borrow the money you need by getting a personal loan or acquiring more personal credit cards. Following this path of going after personal funding will eventually cause you to hit the wall of personal credit limitation because your debt-to-income ratio would look so out of line that the average personal credit grantor would automatically deny your credit applications after looking at your credit file. Even if you make $150,000 a year and have a 750 FICO score, you will only be able to borrow a limited amount of unsecured personal credit because of the debt-to-income ratio problem. That said, if you're using personal credit to run your business, there is a very good chance that you will need to use far more than the 30% recommended ratio of your personal credit cards, which will cause your FICO score to plummet. Your 750 FICO score could turn into a 680 FICO score very quickly, hampering your ability to continuously borrow. Using personal credit to build your business is like walking through a field of landmines waiting to blow holes in your beautiful credit file. Don't get me wrong. I believe in doing what's necessary to go after business goals. But there is a better way, so why not follow the appropriate steps? Flipping the script. Instead of using your pristine personal credit to fund your business, let's say you use business credit. The advantages of business credit start from the very beginning. When you apply for business credit, the only thing that should ever show up on your personal credit file are the inquiries used in applying for the business credit. Therefore, if you're approved for the business credit you've applied for, you don't have to worry about it affecting your personal credit file. Another awesome thing about business credit, as it pertains to credit cards, is that if your credit usage goes up beyond the 30% usage mark, it will not affect your business credit profile in the same negative fashion as it would your personal credit profile. In the world of business, cash flow goes up and down, and business credit cards need to be used at times to assist in the cash flow of the business. Given the same scenario as above, let's say you have a 750 FICO score across the board and you're earning $150,000 a year. Let's say that you apply for a personal credit card and get approved for $10,000. Now, let's say you apply for a business credit card instead of a personal credit card. You would have a greater chance of receiving a credit line anywhere from 50% to 400% more just because you applied for a business credit card. Businesses are able to acquire more capital than a person because businesses are seen as a better financial risk than a person and need more capital to operate. In my opinion, the primary reason businesses are able to get more money is because the rules of the game have been written by the business class for the business class. But whatever the reason, it is what it is. If properly worked, you can use business credit to create almost unlimited capital and cash flow. This is because you are going after credit that has been intentionally designed to help businesses grow and survive through the good and bad times, as long as the business is able to maintain its structure and make timely payments. As mentioned earlier, business credit is great because it's like having ghost credit. Credit that was designed so the average credit grantor looking at your personal credit file will never know you may have received $50,000 to $500,000 or more in business credit cards and business loans. It allows you to use your personal credit with no restrictions and, at the same time, apply for and possibly receive new lines of business credit every 90 to 180 days, annually. Credit cards, in general, are stated income. It is rare that a credit card grantor will ask for some type of documentation. If a credit grantor asks for more documentation, it's often because your income was increased dramatically or your credit file is thin and not as established as it should be. To combat this, look over your credit file, do your due diligence, and make sure your credit file looks like that of a person who makes the type of income you're saying you make. If you only have 3 lines of credit showing up on your credit file, it's going to be harder to believe you're making $100,000 or more a year. So add trade lines and do what needs to be done in order to look valid. I suggest a service like www.nav.com to match business owners with credit grantors who are more likely to approve business loans or business credit card applications. After getting in some capital, I recommend taking 6 to 12 months of payments from the funds you've received and placing them into a separate business bank account from the one you use on a daily basis. This is important because you need to make sure you have the funds on hand to make beforehand and/or on-time payments. Doing this should place you in a position to go after even more capital faster because banks and other lenders love to see credit reports that reflect payments made before their due date. They also love seeing bank accounts that have a ton of capital seasoning sitting in a bank account over time, making you an even better credit risk. Like the old saying goes, the people who don't need the money are always the first ones to get the money. Getting down to business. Although you're more knowledgeable about business credit at this point, we are going to go even deeper. With all of this talk about building business credit, I want to mention that everything starts with having a legal business entity like a corporation or LLC. When dealing with business credit, your corporation or LLC can be as new as a few weeks or as old as 100 years. In the beginning, the credit you're going after is granted to your business but based almost completely on the guarantor's personal credit. Keep in mind, whether you're dealing with a new or old corporation or LLC, be sure to have it listed in all of the 411 directories possible. This can be done for you at www.fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, by searching Business Directory Listing and Business Citations. I want to make a quick mention that although you can use a nonprofit to build business credit, it can be harder to get approvals in the beginning. A nonprofit, by its very definition, is claiming to be disinterested in capital returns. On the other end of the spectrum are S corporations. From everything I have been taught, it is best to stay away from S corporations. Because I am not a CPA or attorney, I don't want to get too deep into the reasons why you shouldn't file as an S corporation, so you'll just have to trust me on this one. Or not, it's up to you. In the business credit world, we start off by using our personal credit file to be the guarantor for any credit the business is receiving. The ultimate goal is to build up Experian Business, Equifax Business, and Dun & Bradstreet profiles enough so that we no longer have to be the guarantor for our business. And the way we make this happen is by, first, understanding that we need as much separation between us and our business. Regardless of your title in the business, know that you are an employee acting on behalf of the business. You are not the business. As much as you can, keep your taxes, assets, and liabilities completely separate. What are you saying your business is, and what are you saying it does? Certain businesses do not do well when it comes to getting funding. Those dealing with online or offline gambling, real estate, adult entertainment of any kind, and the financial arena are examples of said businesses. In my experience, businesses dealing with medical services, business management, consulting, and the service industry have done well. Lenders tend to like businesses that seem to have a broader appeal and a greater potential to weather downturns in the economy. If you haven't yet created your corporation or LLC, I would suggest you create a name that can be used regardless of the type of business you're running. For example, if your business was named Next Level Inc., Jasper Inc., or even Zooberry Inc., I believe you would be doing yourself a huge favor because you are not tying yourself into a specific business like Ajax Construction Inc. This can be limiting, which can make it more difficult for you to get funding if things change in the marketplace for that particular industry. I have been using Vanguard Global LLC for decades because it allows me to shift my business focus at any given time whenever necessary. Bank credit. Next up, let's talk about bank credit as opposed to vendor credit. Bank credit is that almighty cash credit, the credit that allows you to access money through either credit cards, loans, or credit lines. We love bank credit because you can virtually use it anywhere, unlike vendor credit, which is typically only used with the company that's issuing the credit. Because I like business credit so much, I've made it my primary focus in this material. However, we will dive into corporate credit soon. Banks and other lenders want to know things like the industry your company is involved in, the credit score and debt-to-income ratio of your business's guarantor, the company's business credit score, the company's revenue, and how long the business has been in existence. If the guarantor's credit file is in good standing with a good credit score and a good debt-to-income ratio, the banks and lenders will overlook most everything else. They will base their decision on the guarantor's credit worthiness. Note that there have been tens of thousands of people who have raised tens of thousands of dollars with nothing more than a brand new corporation or LLC and a good credit score, and they have done so in as little as several months to a year, depending on their level of determination. You are able to raise tens of thousands of dollars and build business credit by yourself with a home-based business using nothing more than a cell phone if you want. But if you're someone who wants to do everything you can to build $1 million or more in business credit, then you're going to have to step up your game, get an office space, and get a dedicated business phone line to look like a bankable business that's actually doing business. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about getting a small office until you've brought in $25,000 to $100,000 in business credit cards and loans. This way, you can guarantee you're able to support the extra expenses that come with having an office location. An answer to an important question. People often ask, what happens once you've reached what seems like a plateau with your corporation, and it doesn't seem like you'll receive any more business funding? My answer is always the same. If you're building your business credit properly, that problem really shouldn't occur. But for whatever reason that situation does come into play, you can always start another corporation or LLC and build credit on it. You can start 10 other corporations or LLCs all at the same time if you can afford it. Realistically, the average person should probably stick to building out one corporation or LLC at a time. But if you're a real business phenom and you have a team of credit partners and the skills necessary to make things work, do what you feel. Business credit recap. Once your personal credit score is around the 700 FICO score range or higher, it is ideal to go after business credit cards and, eventually, business loans. Simply walking into the branch of a bank that offers business credit cards and loans can work to your advantage once your credit score is up. If you're willing to open up a small business account with them, a lot of banks will ask if you would like to apply for their business credit cards and business loans on the spot. This can be a powerful tool for those of you who do your research and find a bank in your geographical area that offers various types of business credit. If you have a few business partners with good credit, take them along with you so that you can all apply for credit separately, but use the same corporation or LLC to acquire more credit faster. Obviously, there are many awesome business credit cards and loans out there, but listed below are some that we have found to work well with small businesses and issue good sums of credit. Banks that offer business credit cards. U.S. Bank, www.usbank.com. Capital One Sparks Business Card, www.capitalone.com. Bank of America Business Advantage Cash Rewards Card, https://www.bankofamerica.com/small-business/credit-cards. First National Bank of Omaha, www.firstnational.com. Wells Fargo, www.wellsfargo.com. Chase Bank Southwest Business Visa, www.chase-credit-cards.com. American Express Gold Delta Sky Miles, www.creditcard.delta.com/. Citi Costco Anywhere Card, www.citicards.com/cards/. Loans for new businesses. Axion.com, that's ACCION.com, provides loans to small businesses ranging from $10,000 to $100,000 and provides a host of financial tools to help you improve your business. They also work with lower credit scores. BlueVine.com provides loans and invoice financing to small businesses ranging from several $1,000s to $250,000 on average. Although they have higher interest rates than a lot of other lenders, they are pretty good about giving out approvals. Kabbage.com, that's KABBAGE.com, provides small business loans up to $250,000. Their interest rates are high, but they are good about funding small companies even with personal grantors or PGs that have fair credit. Loanbuilder.com, a PayPal service, provides loans to small businesses ranging from $5,000 to $500,000. They are very good about giving a fast response on status, and this service offers 24-hour funding on approval. OnDeck.com provides loans to small businesses ranging from $5,000 to $500,000. They, like most lenders in this category, have higher than average interest rates but can get small businesses with lower credit scores funded. LendingClub.com sends cash directly to your bank account or pay creditors through Lending Club. It's that easy. They provide customized loan options based on your details. Apply in minutes and get your money fast. There is one low monthly payment, an easy online application, and low fixed rates. Prosper.com provides loans to small businesses ranging from $10,000 to $100,000. They also work with lower credit scores and provide a host of financial tools to help improve businesses. Sofi.com, that's SOFI.com, provides loans to small businesses ranging from $10,000 to $100,000. They also work with lower credit scores and provide a host of financial tools to help improve businesses. Upstart.com provides loans to small businesses with a range of services and loan amounts. Ant.com, that's AANT.com, provides loans to small businesses ranging from $10,000 to $100,000. They also work with lower credit scores and provide a host of financial tools to help improve businesses. Marcus.com, that's Marcus.com, also known as Marcus by Goldman Sachs, provides loans to small businesses ranging from $10,000 to $100,000. They also work with lower credit scores and provide a host of financial tools to help improve businesses. DirectCapital.com provides equipment financing with varying loan amounts and fairly long-term repayment terms with decent interest rates that are equal to or better than their competitors. SwiftCapital.com provides loans to small businesses ranging from $10,000 to $100,000. They also work with lower credit scores and provide a host of financial tools to help improve businesses. 53.com, that's the number 5 and the number 3.com, also known as Fifth Third Bank Small Business and SBA, Small Business Administration Loans, is a full-service bank. BBT.com, also known as BB&T Corporation, is a bank holding company based in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that offers full-service loans. StreetShares.com/business funding provides loans up to $250,000. There are no impact credit checks. To qualify, businesses must have operated for more than 2 years with $50,000 or more in revenue. WellsFargo.com provides business credit cards and loans of varying amounts. LendingTree.com is a loan shopping service. FundingCircle.com offers peer-to-peer lending. CommonBond.com is a marketplace lender. Key.com is also known as Key Bank. PNC.com is also known as PNC Financial Services. SunTrust.com. Corporations and corporate credit. Experience has led us to believe that with all of the corporate and business structures available to you, a C corporation seems to be the best to work with. That would be letter C. People seem to respond better to C corporations more so than any other business entity, whether it's someone you're handing your business card to on the street or a lending institution you're trying to get credit cards or loans from. Ultimately, it's up to the business owner to decide the best type of business structure for their business. Once the decision has been made, the rest of the step-by-step processes should be simple. Although states may differ in some respects, The general incorporating procedures are the same. You'll need to contact your Secretary of State for the forms needed to file your articles of incorporation or articles of organization for LLCs. You'll need to fill them out in accordance with your state's regulations and mail or submit them online to your Secretary of State along with the appropriate filing fee. The turnaround time for most states is between 3 to 14 days, but some states may take longer to complete requests. Once the articles of incorporation or organization have been returned from the Secretary of State, you will then need to get a tax ID number, also known as an Employer Identification Number, EIN. Tax IDs/EINs are obtained through the IRS. There are several avenues available to business owners to get an EIN. They can call the IRS, submit a paper application, or go online to irs.gov. Once you've obtained your articles of incorporation or organization and your EIN, you'll want to go to attorneyscorpservice.com and order your corporate/LLC kit. This kit will include your stocks, certificates, corporate seal, minutes, and bylaws for whatever state you file in. Dun & Bradstreet D&B numbers can be obtained by either applying directly on the D&B website or calling the D&B Customer Service Department and ordering it. FYI, although the DUNS number from D&B is free, the D&B reps will often recommend their overly priced corporate credit builder packages. Business owners can avoid direct contact with D&B by simply applying for credit with any of the credit grantors that report to them and wait until they report activity automatically creating a D&B file. Creating a legal business entity. As discussed earlier, creating a corporation or LLC is the first step to creating a legal business entity. Although simple, this step is very important because if the paperwork is not filled out correctly, it can delay the overall process. Remember, when choosing a name for a corporation, make it as vague or nondescript as possible. You don't want to get stuck in a category that may not be viable in the future. Getting your tax ID/EIN. Although briefly touched on above, it is important to understand as much as possible about business structures. Your business's financial well-being will be determined by many factors, one of which will be the age of your business. The business credit bureaus such as D&B, Equifax, and Experian use certain reference points in determining how long a business has been in existence. One of the best ways to give your new corporation some time in business is through your IRS SS4 form application for your EIN. There is a section that asks about the business's start. You can put in any date up to 2 years past. Creating your DUNS number. The importance of getting a DUNS number and setting up a D&B profile cannot be overstated. This step is crucial when it comes to getting financing for your business and, in some cases, even qualifying you to do business with some entities. Your D&B's profile must give your business at least the appearance of being a real business in order to get any type of credit or loans. If you look like a mom-and-pop business, you may never get any type of serious, unsecured corporate credit. No one knows anything about your corporation but what you tell them. You have the opportunity to write your own corporate history. Note, although you can write your own corporate history, please do not go overboard. You don't want to make the mistake of saying that your business brings in $1 million a year and you work out of a 5,000 square foot office, when in reality, your business address shows up on Google Earth as a home in a residential neighborhood. How to look like a big business and get more credit. Building your corporate credit framework means that your business needs to start taking on the characteristics of a real, live, functioning business. In these days and times of the internet, credit bureaus can find out almost anything they want to about you and your business without ever leaving their desks. This is why it is super important that your business conducts itself like a business and has all of the basic business tools expected of it if you are trying to get any type of corporate credit. Here are the basics that you really should have in order to start going after corporate credit trade lines and eventually corporate credit cash lines in the fastest time possible. You need to have your company website or blog and your email address reflect your company's name and web address. For example, john@xyzincorporated.com. Believe it or not, credit bureaus and the credit grantors will check to see if your business has at least these simple things in place to verify whether your company is real or not. You will need letterhead and business cards, so when and if the time comes, you can forward a letter to a potential credit grantor or hand out your business card to a banker when asking to open up a business/corporate bank account. At one point in time, these business basics were not as important as they are now, but due to the past financial crunch this country went through, these things have become mandatory. That is, if your goal is to acquire corporate credit, everything you do the right way will put you closer to getting to the big bucks much quicker. Show and tell what you need to, nothing more. This is all one big game, and the winners are always the people who are able to tell the best story. When giving out information about your business, you should frame it in the best possible way, so that it always gives the appearance of your business being bigger and better than what it may be at the time. Never give out more information than you have to. The more information credit grantors have on your business, the greater the chance of finding out one thing in your corporate profile that may keep you from getting the credit you want. I, personally, made this mistake on a few occasions and found myself either working extra hard to correct my mistake or losing the opportunity to get the credit I wanted from a particular credit grantor. Why you need a business phone line. A business phone line with a 411 listing is a must-have if you ever want to build corporate credit in any significant amount or at all. If someone told you that they had a business venture that they wanted you to invest in and said, "Hey, I promise you that we are a legitimate business, and if you invest $1,000, we will not only pay you back, but we will gladly pay you interest on your money," wouldn't you try to look them up before you said yes? And if you could not find any information on this business, would you lend them any money? Of course not. This is how any lender feels about lending to businesses. Why you should get a business address. Having a business address is what will help you legitimatize your business and show all important credit grantors that you're not simply playing business, but that you are actually in business. Although times have changed and more people than ever are running successful businesses from home, lenders still prefer to lend their money to someone who has some form of office or storefront. They seem to believe that if you are obligated to an actual business address, you are not as likely to pick up and run off with their money. Be careful when it comes to virtual office spaces. A virtual office space is not ideal when it comes to building corporate credit because the credit bureaus and the credit grantors have these spaces listed as such and believe that your business could disappear overnight, seeing as you do not have a business address of your own. One way to getting around paying office rent for a location that you may never put to good use, and still give the appearance of it being yours, is to find shared office space. Look through the classifieds online and offline. Find someone willing to rent you a small space in their office and allow you to receive your mail at their location. This arrangement seems to work out well for everyone involved because office owners get an extra $50 to $100 per month, helping them reduce some of their monthly cash outlay. They don't even have to be bothered with someone actually coming in the office every day. And business owners on the other end get an official office space that will show up in Google searches as a commercial location. Corporate and business credit resources. Corporate/business phone service. Vonage. http://www.vonage.com, and the spelling is VONAGE. Vonage is the phone system that we recommend you use for your corporate phone lines because you'll be able to keep the phone system any place you want, like at your home. We advise to have them list your number at your business address in the 411 directory so that everything looks as it should to the credit grantors. Vonage is inexpensive, around $29 per month for unlimited calling. Domain names. GoDaddy. http://www.godaddy.com. GoDaddy is the place to buy domain names from because they offer the best customer service and pricing. Incorporation services. Vanguard Global LLC, http://www.vanguardgloballlc.com. Vanguard Global LLC will create your incorporation or LLC in any state you choose. We also offer personal, business, and corporate credit coaching, business credit trade lines, grants, and loans services, credit rebuilding and repair assistance, business building, structure, and development. For more information, contact Pascal at pascal@vanguardgloballlc.com. Website building, Vanguard Global LLC. http://www.vanguardgloballlc.com. Vanguard Global LLC is the simplest way to get your website built by a professional webmaster. Level 1 Corporate and Business Credit Starter Vendors. Uline. Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. Quill. Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. AT&T. Monthly reports to D&B. Granger. Net30 reports to D&B and Equifax. BiWave Design, that's BI Wave Design. Net30 reports to Experian. 4 Imprint, the number 4 and then the word imprint. Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. Gemplers, Gemplers. Net30 reports to D&B. Supply Hero. Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. Majestic Advertising. Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. Seton, Seton. Net30 reports to D&B. Discount School Supply. Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. Marathon Petroleum. Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. The Supply Room. Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. HD Supply. Net30 reports to D&B. Level 2 Corporate and Business Credit Starter Vendors. Once your Level 1 corporate and business credit trade lines are showing up and you've made a few payments, it is wise to go after the Level 2 vendors listed below. Global Industrial, Net30 reports to D&B. FedEx, Net15 reports to D&B and Experian. Tech Depot, Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. Rapid Forms, Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. UPS, Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. 1-800-Flowers, Net30 reports to D&B. Aramark, Net30 reports to D&B and Experian. DHL, Net30 reports to D&B. Dell City, Net30 reports to D&B. National Pen, Net30 reports to D&B. United States Plastic Corp., Net30 reports to D&B. Crucial, Net30 reports to D&B. S. Walter, Net30 reports to D&B. Bags and Bows, Net30 reports to D&B. Nebs, NEBS, Net15 reports to D&B. Z Battery, that's the letter Z followed by a space and then the word battery. Net30 reports to D&B. Deluxe, Net10 reports to D&B. State Supply, Net30 reports to D&B. McBee, Net30 reports to D&B. Mouser, Net30 reports to D&B. Pascal's fast action steps to getting funded. 1. Create your corporation or LLC. The choice is yours. If you want to spend $699, we at Vanguard Global LLC will set up your corporation or LLC for you. Visit www.vanguardgloballlc.com to get started. 2. Start applying for business credit cards using your good credit or that of a credit partner. Continue to apply for business credit cards fairly regularly. Start with 2 to 3 applications, Then do 1 to 2 applications every 3 to 6 months, depending on the strength of your credit files. Note: research which bureaus the credit grantors pull so you can mix it up and play to your credit file's strengths. 3. Once you've acquired at minimum $25,000 in business lines of credit and business credit cards, you may want to consider getting a small office space and setting up a dedicated business phone line linked to that address. 4. Use a website like www.fiverr.com to hire someone to get your business listed in the online 411 directories, citations, and online maps. 5. After several months, apply for business loans for new businesses. Business loans can require more information than credit cards. That's why we go after them secondarily. Build corporate credit with the list of companies given earlier in this book. The goal is to establish corporate credit alongside your business credit so that in the future you'll be able to go after non-personal, guaranteed, unsecured business or corporate loans. Note: if you're working with a corporation or LLC that is 2 or more years old, you can buy large business/corporate trade lines to rapidly establish your Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet business/corporate credit files. This is to potentially get non-personal guarantee business/corporate loans faster. Email me at pascal@vanguardgloballlc.com for large business trade lines. Feel free to contact me at pascal@vanguardgloballlc.com if you need further assistance. Resources: Fiverr gigs. Alan Let's Go, ALANLETSGO. Add your website to 130 search engines fast indexing. Services 97. Build local citation and directory submissions up to 100 sites. Citation Guys. Create 45,200 map citations for Google local page and website business listing. Credit Builder's Masterclass Complete Course. Now is the time to get as much funding as you can while the banks and lenders are still giving out cash and credit before the next big economic meltdown, which is said to be coming soon. This opportunity won't be here long, so if you're ready to create a new life for yourself by starting a new business, funding an old business, or getting into real estate investing, get started now. Our Credit Building Masterclass Complete Course is now only $1,997. If you need to make payments, you can pay just $500 down and only $497 a month for 4 months. You'll pay $2,488 if you choose the payment option. You can get started today by going to www.creditbuildingmasterclass.com. When you sign up through this special link, you will get access to the same material and video training as our high-end coaching clients. As an extra added bonus, you will be able to access our weekly Power Mondays Mastermind live coaching call to help you get even more funding and build a stronger, more profitable business. So go now to www.creditbuildingmasterclass.com and sign up today. Pascal Mansell, Personal and Business Development Coach for Credit Building Masterclass, Pascal@vanguardgloballlc.com.